Really excited to be here. First of all, congratulations on the film. Absolutely a blast to watch. It's interesting because it kind of serves as like a time capsule. I think when we're gonna look back at this movie in, let's say, 10 years, did you have that in mind? Like,
interesting to look back in 10 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because the internet moves so fast. It has to be about stuff going on now or over the course of making the movie. And hopefully in the future, the story of, their friendship will be what brings people back to it. That genuine story of two friends kind of coming to a fork in the road. Mm-hmm. And the things that may be current now may feel like, well, it's nostalgic. Like the first movie was, it was nostalgic for those old, arcade games. That maybe the things that they encounter will be, seen with the same nostalgia that Pac-Man is.
Google.
Remember Google?
Oh, such
my
a
God,
sweet
I
little
loved Google.
quaint little website.
I used to go there.
Aw.
I mean, you brought the Rickroll back even.
We had to.
You
it was
had
just
to.
like wreck roll,
Yeah.
You have to.
My favorite thing, I think, in the whole movie was Open Sesame.
Oh,
So
yeah.
whoever was in charge of that, great job.
Oh man, there was a whole run where we had all of Ralph's videos were going to be puns.
Horrible puns.
Bad puns. And so Open Sesame was in that run of terrible puns.
Bees are hot right now, and puns. Always.
Yes.
You can't go wrong with it.
I like that you guys were talking about kind of like dark side of the internet. Obviously, there's dark places that we can go on the internet, but you were talking about more of like the toxicity of like reading the comments on maybe something that you're proud of. But I really love this like idea of insecurity with Ralph. I personally connected with that. And it didn't make me feel great. I was like, man, I've been this guy before.
Yeah.
What made you want to go in that direction to turn the bad guy, who is okay with being, the bad guy, and actually making him almost, the villain of this movie?
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a continuation of the first film where Ralph spent this whole movie fighting against the label bad guy, knowing that he's really a good guy. And then in this one, now that he's made a friend and thinks of himself as a good guy and isn't terribly concerned about that label anymore, his behavior actually is that of a villain, of a bad guy. And what we wanted to say is that, insecurity and self-doubt are things all of us have and have felt at one time or another. And if you let them run roughshod over your life, it becomes an actual literal monster in the case of this movie and can destroy friendships and all other things. So the internet seems like a good place to explore that notion of self-doubt and insecurity just because we're all susceptible to that online. And I think seeing Ralph go through that, and Vanellope as well, maybe kids and grown-ups too can look at it and go, I could behave a little differently in my online life.
Yeah, I think...
I loved movies like that when I was a kid where I could not just identify with the main character or any of the characters in the movie when they're doing good things, but also like, oh my God, I've made that mistake before too, But then to be able to see him kind of rise above it, and set it right, after, doing something so bad, but he was doing it for the right reasons, but it was easy for him to kind of backslide back to that guy, but I like being able to see that he can redeem himself though from it.
Now we're here to celebrate the home entertainment release, right?
Right.
Is there a special feature or something like a deleted scene that is an absolute favorite of yours that we can keep an eye out for?
The grandma.
Grandma.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene, and it's not often that we have something fully animated, mostly lit too.
Yeah.
It's almost completely finished, a whole sequence that used to happen in Act 3 during the climax of the film where Shank recruited players online to help destroy the Ralph monster in Slaughter Race.
That's awesome.
And one of those people is the little boy, Jimmy, who you saw earlier playing the game. His grandma kind of wanders into his bedroom when Shank is trying to recruit players and gets the control and is kind of, controlling Jimmy's like really gnarly looking avatar. I love that scene. It breaks my heart that it didn't stay in the movie.
But we get to see it now.
But we get to see it.
That's the beauty of
Yeah.
it all.
Yeah.
Where does Ralph go next?
Only Ralph knows where he goes, but if you had to guess.
We've got a couple ideas.
Okay.
Ralph is in a 3D printer. Rich has heard this idea before,
No, I'm
but
just gonna-
it's evolving.
Mhm.
Ralph is in a 3D printer. Lightning strikes. Ralph is printed into the real world. Just so happens Denzel Washington is outside
This is new.
The-
the Denzel Washington angle. is-
outside the arcade. Ralph meets real life Denzel Washington,
Wow.
goes home, they become best friends, and they decide that they are going to start a fight club. And
With John C.
All right.
Reilly.
with John C.
Now,
Reilly.
wait, would it be a live action Ralph, like John C. Reilly playing, or an animated Ralph?
No, it'd be a live action Ralph.
Oh, okay. So it could be John C. Reilly in the costume.
Yes, it could.
Oh.
It
I'm
could.
excited for this.
This is getting pretty good. Denzel.
Yeah, we're going for him.
Yeah.
We want him and Ralph teaming up. They have their fight club, and then all kinds of things go wrong, and it turns out they've been infiltrated by spies, and they have to go to Russia.
Oh,
Wow.
And
If we can't get Denzel Washington, we'll settle for a Joey Lawrence.
Thank you.
this is going to be for the Disney streaming service, I
Yeah,
think.
for Disney Plus.
Plus.
Plus. This is one of the plus pluses.
That's
you know,
right.
like
Double
be
positive. I
big.
like it.
yeah,
Big. It's going to be big, and you heard it here first.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so
Thank
much
you.
for your time.